everybody, it's Aaron with Robert. This is Get Your Geek On. This is where we do our reviews, and this one is of Loki, episode 6, season 1. I don't know the title.
For all time.
Always.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the season finale, not the series finale, because we did get confirmation of season 2. And I think that's the big lead-in. But spoiler alert, we will be talking about the season in total. And we'll probably also speculate a little bit about season 2. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Okay. I liked this episode. I liked this series. I think this was my favorite Disney Plus series. But I think that it suffered a little bit for the fact that we didn't know that there was a season 2 until the end. Because there were some things that I feel like if we knew that this was going to be a larger story and was going to continue into multiple seasons, then I wouldn't have had expectations for certain storylines paying off.
Agree.
But like we talked about on our last episode review, it was like, wow, there's a lot to wrap up. And they don't wrap it all up because some of those threads are left for season 2. And so that was one of those things where if I had known there was definitely going to be a season 2, I think I would have my viewing experience would have been a little bit different. So I still liked it. I still liked it a lot. And I liked this episode a lot. And I thought it was a good season finale. Yeah. But I think that was the one thing is if we had known that this was just part of a larger story, then I maybe wouldn't have expected more payoff because we didn't get a single scene of our Loki and our Mobius in this episode.
That is true.
The time that they finally end up on screen together, it's a different Mobius. And it was like, no, we needed that. And I know at the end of last episode, they got the hug, they got the goodbye, they got, like all that stuff. But I needed that, and I really felt like we didn't get some of those payoffs that I would have wanted if this was a more contained story. So I'm fine with it not be. I'm super excited for season 2. But that was something that I feel like it let me down a little bit just because I was expecting to get more payoff that we didn't get. But this episode in particular really paid off the Loki and Sylvie stuff. Yeah.
No, and I agree. I think this is one of my favorite episodes. And again, same as you, one of my favorite seasons.
Yep.
And I do like this. Captain America Winter Soldier, or Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, the last episodes were action-packed. A lot of action happening, and in this one, maybe, a minute of a fight scene or so?
This one, by the way, call back to the first episode, talk.
Yes, exactly. And I love it.
It was great.
It was a good payoff.
It was a ton of great conversation.
It was, and I think it worked for this series. This couldn't have worked for any other series they've had so far, I don't think.
No, I agree.
I think that this was perfect. The payoff to Loki always talking. Sylvie getting her payoff in the end too with the main character. I don't want to say his name just yet, but
we're in spoiler territory.
We're in spoiler, but I want to wait.
He Who Remains. That's his name.
Is he really Immortus?
Could be.
So he's actually a combination of both.
Yeah.
So I'll get into that in a second. But I really think that conversation needed to happen.
Yep.
Everybody got their closure, kind of. Loki did get his closure with Sylvie.
We saw Loki's journey of self-discovery and choosing not to be the villain. We saw that come to a conclusion. We saw Sylvie's journey of revenge come to a conclusion. We saw Mobius's self-awakening journey come to a conclusion. And we see even our judge, Renslayer, make a choice to, as she says, she's in search of free will.
Yep.
Basically, she wants to be the top dog.
Yeah, she wants to be in charge. She found out the timekeepers are not what they were. And I want to jump straight to it. We have He Who Remains is his name.
Correct.
Who in the comics is one character, but this character does resemble Immortus, who is and Immortus is technically a very future version of Kang.
Correct.
Who in this case, I forgot the actor's
Jonathan
name.
Majors.
Jonathan Majors, who's going to play Kang.
Is Kang.
So this is Kang.
This is Kang. And that's very comics accurate. There have been several versions of Kang. And this is one of them. And I did find it interesting. I don't know if you picked up on this. I didn't notice it really until the second time I watched it.
Okay.
He talks about, the version of himself that was a scientist that first discovered, this multiverse,
multiverse,
and then
yeah.
several other ones did as well, and all those things. And he always is talking about that character. That's the same one that discovered Elias, but then he says, I tamed the beast. So he talks about the other one in third person. So that scientist is not this version.
Yeah.
This is a violent version, clearly a villainous version.
Yep.
Who, he won.
He did.
He defeated all the other kings.
All the kings died.
It takes a level of ruthlessness and villainous to be able to defeat all the other kings.
Oh, yeah. And then I noticed that too.
This guy is not a good guy.
No. And I noticed that too during my second watch because I was like, wait, he's not talking about himself now all of a sudden. He switched.
Yep.
And I will like that. I don't know anything about this actor. I don't know what he's been in.
Yeah.
But so far, he's sold me on this Uncanny.
He was great.
I did like how, I don't know if you caught it on the first or second watch, how he would go from the fun, like, go lucky to almost like that villain would come out.
Oh, yeah.
In like a mid-sentence, it's just, and then back to being funny and go lucky, I'm happy. And it's like, dude, you're like bipolar. Are you okay?
Well, I think it was almost like he was trying to cover the fact that he was this rage monster almost. Like,
I agree.
Like he was trying to put on a show that he wasn't this evil guy.
But then he even says,
but clearly
we're all
is.
villains here.
Yeah, and I like that too. And he calls Sylvie out, and it's 100% accurate. She's done villainous things too. She's
she's murdered
he calls her a
too.
hypocrite. She's done murder and all those things. So yeah.
Now
he's not he's not this perfect
and he knows he's
person, but he knows that. But he's he's saying nobody that's in this room is a good person.
Wrong.
Like we've got Sylvie, who's a Loki variant. We've got Loki, who just tried to destroy New York and take over the world.
And literally, Miss Minutes tempts him with the gauntlet at that point. Like, do you want the Infinity Gauntlet? Do you want to kill Thanos?
Which, by the way, that was my favorite scene of Miss Minutes in the whole series, and she's been a delight.
Yeah.
But like her just like laying on the sauce, and you can tell this is all BS.
Oh
like,
yeah.
There's no way that you could have this. And she's just like, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, she's like, bye.
And even when she gets back to the TVA, like you can tell she's still pissed off about it. When she's talking to the judge, she's like, I had to take care of some things, like.
Come on, it didn't work though. Here, take these files. I'm out. Just leave.
She was not happy.
And I like that though.
Super interesting.
I liked that we get the Citadel at the end of time, and again, kind of going back to how this guy is not probably as good as he says he is. When they walk in, one statue is completely destroyed.
Yes, it is.
And the other ones look okay, just dusted. And even Loki's like, are we sure anyone's even here?
Right.
But I do like that. I think that's part of him. Like, part of him is broken. And it could be the monster in him that's there. Maybe he was a good man until, he's even said, I'm a lot older than I really look.
Right.
And now Immortus, this character is based on the two characters, Immortus and He Who Remains.
Right.
It's a combination of two when you look at the comics. And Immortus is technically immortal because the Timekeepers gave him immortality.
Right.
So maybe this Kang variant or this, He Who Remains, he might be hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of years
now
old.
he's living beyond time.
Exactly.
And so
you don't know his age.
I assume he's not aging in this place, wherever he is.
And I agree with that.
Now, I do want to just rewind a little bit to the opening credits where we get a lot of MCU quotes as well as some real life quotes, but I did feel like there was kind of a heavy emphasis on quotes from Ant-Man and Ant-Man related things. I mean, we get Falcon saying, way to go, Tic Tac. We get Scott Lang, something from him. We get something from Hank Pym. And so it did, we know this character is showing up in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
We're leading into
and it seemed like they were making some very conscious choices to give us some Ant-Man seeding as well.
And I think the last line of theirs is, Sylvie, open your eyes.
Yeah, she says that. She says that to Loki. That's, it's like, open your eyes because here we go.
I like that this was perfect for that episode because if everyone's eyes is being opened, because we go into the TVA, Mobius and B-15, right?
Yep.
Are basically telling everybody what's going on.
I like the way they did that too.
It was perfect because I was like, how are they going to do this? And then I guess Mobius figured out her variant, and that's how she had the pen.
Yep.
And then they basically B-15 shows another U-95, I think his number is, or something.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that, hey, we need to talk. And he sees Judge Renslayer, and it's like, that's not her. That's
not her.
really her, not the variant.
Yep.
So I love that the TVA now is, everybody knows, maybe though. So at the end of the episode, that does kind of flip.
Well, I think, let's talk about what happens in the Citadel. Because
Loki kisses Loki?
Well, it's revealed that basically this whole thing with the Lokis being on the run and Loki and Sylvie teaming up together, and even to the point of going through the void and everything like that, this was all part of the plan. This was all still within the sacred timeline, because the whole point was to get them there and offer them a choice, which is either they can take control of the TVA and be in charge of the sacred timeline. But it'll be their responsibility to make sure that things still flow appropriately. Or kill Kang and unleash the multiverse.
And he's already said there was a multiversal war when the Kangs, because not all of them are as nice as he is, he says.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're the winner. You don't win by niceness, okay?
He was like, I love everybody. Aren't y'all just, whatever.
So that's the choice, and we get Loki saying, I believe him, and I think that maybe we have been wrong, and the TVA is what is needed and necessary to prevent destruction, and so we need to listen to him. And Sylvie is like, nope, I'm gonna kill him, because he's taken away free will, and you can tell she's driven by her personal trauma and all that stuff. And so we get conflict between the two of them as they're going back and forth. We reach a point where Kang, I'm just going to call him Kang because that's who it is, basically it goes past the point that he was seeing. So he got him to this point, and now he doesn't know which way it's going to go.
I didn't get the whole dropping the pin, why he did that.
I think that was just a moment of free will, and he didn't know what was going to happen once it hit. Was it going to roll? Was it going to,
that makes sense.
Just what's going to happen? I don't know. But yeah, I think that could have been a little bit more explicit.
I wish it was, because I was like, why did he drop that and look confused? It's going to just, anyway.
Yeah, I kind of viewed it almost like he is Dr. Manhattan, and in the original Watchmen comic, there's a moment where, during the final confrontation, where his vision is blocked, and he kind of talks. He's like, oh, this is kind of fun. I haven't been able to experience not knowing what's about to happen since I became Dr. Manhattan. So it kind of felt like that with this character. It's like, oh, I now I don't know what's going to happen. And I saw him playing it that way the rest of the time. He was kind of having fun as they were fighting one another and all that stuff. He's like, this is great. I have no idea what's happening. So I kind of enjoyed that.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes perfect sense then. So like you said, they are fighting. They basically fight now because they're at odd ends.
Loki and Sylvie she wants to kill Kang, no ifs, ands, or buts. And Loki is trying to keep her from doing it, not because he thinks it's necessarily the wrong thing, although I think he does think it's the wrong thing.
Right.
But also just because he doesn't want her to go through with it, and he knows it's not going to bring her catharsis.
Exactly.
It's not going to bring her satisfaction.
Exactly.
She's not going to feel good about it, and he wants her to feel good.
And that's true, and I agree 100% with that. And I think his line is the best line in the series so far. She cannot trust anybody, and I cannot be trusted, he tells her.
Right.
You don't trust anyone, and I can't be trusted. And I thought that was perfect, because that's true.
It's a perfect summation of the two of them.
Yeah.
Literally, Sylvie, because of her experience and what happened with her and then the life she's lived, it is virtually impossible for her to be able to trust someone, even if she thinks she got to the point that she could have trusted Loki. She really couldn't.
And she shows that here when she's like, you just want the throne, you want the throne. He's like, no, I don't think this is a smart move. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah, and our Loki, of course, he's backstabbed and betrayed everyone he's ever loved. So,
but I'm not going to do it anymore. It gets old.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think it's good because at the end of it, he gets to kiss her, but then she shoves him through a portal, and he's back at the TVA at the end of the fight.
He's back at the TVA, but it is not the TVA that he's been in. This is a different timeline's TVA, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Because we've got a different Kang now is the timekeeper.
Yeah, and before we get to that, though, she killed him. She plunged her sword through his chest.
She kills Kang.
And I love how she says, "Are you going to beg?" Good. But he already knows it's pointless.
Well, I think he's, again, he's brought them here with this purpose.
Yeah,
like they're going to make a choice, and he's resigned to that choice.
His last line,
see you soon.
Perfect. I was like, wait, because he knows the timeline's going to break up again. He knows it's all going to play out again. And he knows he's probably going to be the winner again.
Maybe.
Kang is pretty,
well,
narcissistic himself.
Kang, but whether it'll be this same one, we don't know.
We don't know. But he will see her probably.
Yeah, he says, "See you soon."
And I love that line, and that's it. I like that he didn't beg. I liked that, like you said, he knew what he was coming from, and it was perfect. So then we get Loki.
Yeah.
Back at TVA, meets up with Mobius and B-15. And he's like, "Hey, we did it all," and they're confused as heck. They're like, "We don't. Are you? Who are you?
Who are you?"
Exactly.
So this is clearly the Mobius and Hunter B-15 that we've gotten to know and love still exist. They didn't get erased. That's not how this time travel or all that stuff works. But they're in a different timeline than our Loki now.
Exactly.
Our Loki is at a different timeline's TVA, and they're still in the sacred timeline's TVA. And
and that statue, perfect Kang look. The little like thing around his neck, the outfit, the way he's standing. I'm like, that is Kang. That's the Kang the Conqueror we know. And I love how we didn't even touch it. We know this isn't Kang that we're gonna see later. This isn't that Kang version. This is Immortus or He Who Remains, whatever.
Right.
But he does say, "I've been called many things."
Yep.
And Conqueror was one of the things he said.
A ruler.
And a jerk. I love the last part. And a jerk. I was like, yeah, you are a jerk.
I mean, Kang is a jerk sometimes.
He is. So we've kind of touched on everything through this one. There's a lot of little things too. Quick reference when he does talk about all the Kangs working together, that does lead to Reed Richards as well, as there was the Council of Richards.
And Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards.
Nathaniel Richards.
It's like 1,000 years later, but yes, he's from that same line.
So it was an interesting throw when he says that they're all working together, because there's a storyline where Reed meets his other Reeds and they create the Council. Yeah.
Well, I think even Kang has done that.
Kang's done that
in the comics.
He always recruits himself too. He's like, I can trust me as I get backstabbed by me, which doesn't make sense because it's
is a very Loki thing to do, also.
As
we saw in the last episode.
Alligator will come back.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited for the way we knew this had to end with the multiverse. Right. Because we've got What If coming, we've got Spider-Man coming, which we know is going to deal with multiverses. We've got Doctor Strange coming. So we knew this was going to happen.
And now we got it.
But now it's here, and I love the way that we did it. And I love that we're getting a season 2 because I really want to see Loki trying to get back to Mobius. I want to see Loki trying to get back to Sylvie. I want to see Mobius riding a jet ski.
With the alligator in his lap. Alligator Loki.
Yeah.
Gotta have
100%.
that. They're friends now.
There's a lot that I want to see in this next season. And who knows when we'll get it? We might not get it until, I would assume we won't get it until after Doctor Strange, which I think is next May.
And I don't even think we'll get it until after Ant-Man. Until Kang is fully in power.
Well, that's in 2023. So, I don't think they're going to wait 2 full years. But they could.
It depends on how much storyline they're fleshing out before that.
Yeah,
because,
I think the next season doesn't necessarily have to focus on Kang. Because...
True.
They could, just be trying to get back to one another. The rumor was this week that Tom Hiddleston is actually going to show up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That would make sense.
And so
because he already opened the bottle.
I'm okay with that. I really liked this first season of Loki, and I'm looking forward to more.
Same. I can't wait. And let us know down below what you thought of the season. I know it's one of our better ones, we think.
Yeah.
I really want to know what everyone else thinks. I want to know what you thought of... I was skeptical about Kang. Technically not Kang coming out in this series, but we got him. They paid us off for that one finally.
We did.
So let us know what you thought of that reveal, if it was worth it, if it wasn't.
And told you they would tell us who it was.
I mean, why didn't you tell me it was Doctor Doom?
Because that's not the character that would be at the end of time twiddling his thumbs.
Why not?
Because Doctor Doom would like be actively taking control over
He
everything.
would. Like, that's what I would do.
That's not a Doctor Doom move.
No, that's what I would do too. I'd be like, I agree. So let us know, guys, down below what you think. And of course, like, comment, subscribe. And check out our other shows on here, as well as check out our podcast on any platform you listen to podcasts. It'll be there. And that's where we talk about some news and some new stuff coming out. Talk about some movie trailer, or a show trailer actually, coming out this week, or came out this week. So let us know what you think about everything. And remember, stay geeky and get your geek on, guys.